So now that we add the button to our canvas panel, you can see because this button is inside this canvas panel, it is child of the canvas panel in hierarchy. You can see we have some setting that we can set. First of all, you can see this sign in here, and what this means, it means the 000 location is in here at the middle in here. So for example, if we click on our button, go here, you can see the position X and position Y. If we put both of them at 0 and 0, no, let's just zoom. With right click, we can pan like this, right? And with the middle mouse, we can zoom. So you can see that when we put position X and position Y at 0, 0, and because the 0, 0 is in here, so it will snap to that place, right? Now the next option is the size X and size Y, and it's like self-explanatory. So if we, for example, increase this, you can see the size of our button change, and there is size Y as well, and we can increase that as well. All of the things in here does have all of these options: position X, position Y, size X, and size Y. No, we know that this button is at 0, 0 location, right? So this top left corner is at 0, 0 location, right? The top left corner. The reason that this button, when we put it at 0, 0 location, it put the top left corner at 0, 0 location because the alignment is 0, 0. 0, 0 means here, okay? The 0, 0 means top left corner. But if we put 1 and 1 in here, it means bottom right corner. So the alignment is a value between 0 and 1. And this point in here, we call it anchor point, okay? The anchor point, the alignment. In here, we call it alignment, the alignment point. So bear in mind that this alignment point. So if you put 0 and 0, it means when we put the position X0, position Y0, it will align itself to 0, 0 by top left corner, like we have in here. But if we put 1 and 1 in here, it will align itself by bottom right corner, and we can put it at 0.5 as well, like this. Now you can see the X of that is at 0.5, so it will align itself to that position at the bottom center, right? So if you put 0.5 again in the Y alignment in here, it will put our button at the middle center, okay? The alignment is at the center, right? So let's just again put it at 0 and 0, okay? Next thing to talk about is this anchor point, okay? These anchors. And right now, by default, it chooses to be anchored to top left corner. These 0, 0 point in here. And if we change it, for example, the anchor point to top middle corner, top middle, like this, now you can see when we click on the button, the anchor is here, okay? And it changed the position X and position Y. Why? Because now this anchor point in here is 0, 0 location for this button. So if you want to put this button at here, we can change the position X and position Y to 0 again, like this. And if we want to put this button at the middle of this anchor point in here, we can align it to the middle center like this, give it 0.5 and 0.5, and now you can see the button is at the middle of this anchor. Next option is size to content. If we click on this size to content, it will change the size as its picture, as its container, as what it is inside it, right? This button, what it is actually, it is this picture. And if we click on size to content, it will change the size of that to content that is inside it, that is this button, okay? And in many cases we need this size content, but when you enable this, you can't change the size X and size Y. See, if I change it, nothing happened because we click this sized content. Next option that I want to talk about is this hierarchy. It's just like a layers in Photoshop. So for example, if I click on this button and change the background color to red, for example, and decrease the green, decrease the blue, and it will give us a red button, right? So now with that, if we add another button, let's just put it here, because this button one, this new one is drawing after this button 0, so this button will be at the top of the last button. So again, let's just change the background color for this button as well. Click in here, and this time I want it to be blue, right? So let's just decrease the green as well. No, it is blue. If I add another button in here, now you can see, because this button 2 is at the bottom of all the button, now this button will override everything, will be over everything, right? So this is how layers or hierarchy works in Widget Blueprint. So let's just talk about another option. This button 0 right now, the place of it in the hierarchy in here is at top. So in the canvas panel, it is at the bottom of everything, right? The option in here, if you click on the button 0, there is a Z order, and we changing that to 1, for example, it will go over everything else. Doesn't matter where in hierarchy it is. So for example, this button 0 is at top in this canvas panel, but because we changed the Z order, it will go up. And again, if we want to do it for blue one to go forward, go over everything, we can give it some value more than other values. This Z order of this red button is 1, and the Z order of this white button is 0. So if you put 2 for this blue button, it will go over all of the other buttons. So these were all the options that is existing here. So now we did talk about the buttons, but if we put a checkbox inside this canvas panel, you can see a checkbox, and there is again all of those options. Doesn't matter what you want to put in there, again all the options is there, and we can use all of those options for all of these component in here. Doesn't matter which one you want to use.